Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us on Fox 24 this morning. I'm Tessa Spencer. Grab your umbrellas before you leave this morning. You might want to leave the jacket at home after a few nice dry days. The rain has returned, but it's quite warm outside. Meteorologist Emily Gracie is here. And Em, are we looking at a warm washout today?
That's pretty much it. I mean, temperatures, they are certainly warm here this morning. Now, we've lost a lot of our readings out there, but there are still a few remaining. I want to show you on the map exactly how warm it is. 67 right now in Charleston. We hit our high temperature of the day yesterday at 11:59. So that midnight high, it's certainly riding through here this morning with those temperatures staying very warm. That's about 20 degrees warmer than we were yesterday at this time. So a sign of that warm front pushing in. Also a sign the wet weather coming through the area here this morning. From Columbia down to Charleston, that line of rain is heavy and has some lightning with it. Right now downtown, we're picking up some heavier rain. It's moving down towards Foley, soon to be in Mount Pleasant. Places like Wando, Somerville, Cordsville have been picking up some heavy rain as well, even some lightning with these rounds of rain coming through. So some thunderstorms certainly possible. Holly Hill picking up some heavier rain, possibly some lightning there as well. You can see getting a little bit of a break south of town at this point, and as the morning goes on, that chance will remain in the forecast. Those temperatures staying warm though. As you're headed out the door, grab all the rain gear. We are in for a wet one. I'll talk about when things dry out a bit coming up.
Breaking overnight, we're learning more about a shooting in North Charleston. Police say it happened on McMillan Avenue, right between Rivers Avenue and Sproul Avenue. Our cameras were rolling when officers and someone on the scene began to argue. It's not clear what that ordeal was about. Police did tell us a man was shot on McMillan Avenue. They were called out to the Max Quick Stop just before 11 last night. That's where they found the victim. He was rushed to the hospital where police say he was in serious condition. North Charleston police were busy working other possible shootings this morning. Dispatchers tell us there were at least 3 different calls from people saying they heard shots being fired. One was near Dorchester and Meeting Street roads. Another came from Sproul Avenue near Cosgrove, and a third came from Sumner Avenue. We are checking with police to find out what, if anything, was found during those investigations. And all that comes after the deadly shooting we told you about this time yesterday. Deputies still haven't made an arrest. Neighbors on Ashley Hall Road didn't want to be identified, but they told us they woke up Thursday morning to what sounded like fireworks.
It was pretty freaky. I thought at first it was over at the church. I'm not gonna lie, I hit the ground in the house because it was close enough to freak me out.
Deputies say shots were fired near an apartment complex. They say a man was shot and died at the hospital. The director of a community group called West Ashley United believes an organized group is causing recent crime. She plans to hold a community meeting early next year. We're still waiting for specifics. Happening today, State Representative Wendell Gilliard will meet with officials about the flooded downtown cemetery. A foot of water covered headstones and grave markers about a week ago. It left exposed tombstones and caskets at Monrovia Cemetery. Now Gilliard is asking for an investigation. This afternoon, he'll meet with officials from DHEC at North Charleston City Hall to speak with government officials about a solution. Also starting today, officials say they'll be cracking down on impaired driving. The Dorchester County Sheriff's Office says it'll be conducting several public checkpoints. Officials say the patrols and checkpoints have been established to prevent accidents. Those checkpoints will be enforced today through Monday, December 31st. Mount Pleasant police will also be out in force at multiple checkpoints through New Year's Eve. This morning, people are still talking about that bizarre blue light show in the New York City sky Thursday night. It happened when a transformer exploded at a power plant in Queens. That explosion sparked multiple fires there and left people in surrounding areas wondering if there was an alien invasion. New York police were able to get the fire under control. Luckily, no one was injured. 7:05 now. Today is day 7 of that partial government shutdown. Congress returned to Capitol Hill on Thursday, but made no move toward ending the stalemate between President Trump and Senate Democrats over border security funding. Karen Caifa tells us what happened.
No vote scheduled, and per an ally of President Trump, no end in sight.
At this point, it looks like we could be in for a very long-term shutdown.
Both the House and the Senate gavelled in Thursday afternoon and gavelled right back out minutes later.
The House stands adjourned.
Amid a third attempt by a House Democrat to get Republicans to consider the government funding bill passed by the Senate before the president insisted on attaching border wall money. Democrats telling the president to stop the political games.
The wall is a symbol for him and his base. It's not a serious proposal to deal with border security, and we don't want to play that game.
The president saying it's Democrats playing the games, tweeting Thursday evening, "This is only about the Dems not letting Donald Trump and the Republicans have a win." Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are caught in the middle. More than 420,000 working without pay until the government reopens. Another 380,000 furloughed.
And these are real families, real people, real hardworking American people with real families and real financial obligations, and they had the carpet ripped out from under them.
And Washington uncertainty not helping Wall Street volatility. After a 1,000-point surge Wednesday, the Dow dropped more than 600 points Thursday before a late afternoon bounce back to finish the day in the green. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Despite the shutdown, Congressman-elect Joe Cunningham is preparing to be sworn in for the 1st Congressional District of South Carolina. He posted this picture of his plaque with his new representative title Thursday. Cunningham will be sworn in January 3rd. Well, you might want to put any travel plans you have for the New Year's holiday on hold. There's a winter storm causing nightmare travel conditions in parts of the country this week. Right now, blizzard warnings are in effect for roughly 1 million people in Minnesota, Nebraska, and the Dakotas. Flood watches and flash flood watches are in effect for more than 20 million people in a dozen states, including Alabama, the Carolinas, and Georgia. A health alert for you this morning. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention now reporting widespread flu activity across the country. 11 states are reported to have high activity. Right now, Georgia and Colorado are seeing the worst of it. South Carolina is said to have moderate flu activity. Health officials say flu season typically runs from October through May, with peak months being December, January, and February. Well, doctors say they're also seeing whooping cough making a comeback in the U.S. The highly contagious respiratory infection causes severe bouts of coughing that mimic a whooping sound. Despite a vaccine, health officials have seen a jump in the number of cases in recent decades. The symptoms can be particularly serious in babies. The CDC recommends babies get a series of shots with a combination vaccine beginning at 2 months of age. They also recommend adults get a booster shot every 10 years.
This Traffic Authority report on the 8s is sponsored by Joy Law Firm.
Good Friday morning to you. Taking a wide look right now at all of the major highways, we're seeing yellow across I-26, 526, and pretty green across Highway 17 right now. We do have a few wrecks to let you know about. The left lane blocked at Rivers Avenue and University Boulevard eastbound and Remount Road. No details other than that that left lane being blocked. No reports of injuries as of yet. We also have another crash. No injuries being reported from the 8500 block of Dorchester Road in the Appian Way, causing a bit of a slowdown in that area as well. The drive times right now along I-26 from Somerville to downtown, 24 minutes, 23 minutes in the westbound lanes. Our main concern this morning will be wet roads. Coming up next, we'll take a look at drive times along 526. Tessa?
Thanks, Megan. Still ahead this morning, Christmas is over, but what do you do with your Christmas tree? Coming up, some unique ways you can incorporate your tree into your home year-round. And the numbers are in. The Salvation Army tells us just how much the Red Kettle campaign raised this year and who the money will be helping.
Well, we have some fog out there this morning added to the list of problems. We're dealing with wet roads, warm temperatures. We are in for a messy day today. I'll have a look at when they can settle down a bit. That's coming up. I'll take a live wet look outside right now. Isle of Palms, that rain is coming down pretty heavy. The lens even all watering up here this morning, and it is a soggy start to our Friday. Look at the radar right now, and you'll see what's going on there. The Isle of Palms area, Sullivan's Island, Mount Pleasant as well. That's that steady rain falling across the area. We've even seen some lightning strikes on the radar here this morning. It's not widespread thunderstorm activity, but you may hear some rumbles of thunder out there today. Now, that line of heavy rain moving right along 41 Wando North. You're going to be dealing with that rain if you're driving out here this morning. Other areas are starting to lighten up. So places like Johns Island, James Island, Somerville, you're starting to get some breaks. There's still some spotty showers out there and even some rounds of heavy rain on and off for the next few hours. But that giant batch of heavy rain that we had come through has now moved up towards Moncks Corner, and they are dealing with it right now for the next 10 minutes or so. So we're getting a little bit of a break in some of those areas south of town. We may even see some breaks here through the middle of the day, but that cold front is still well back to our west. So there's a lot of unsettled weather between the warm front that we got last night and the cold front that's moving through later on this evening. There it is right there. Pretty strong, in fact. You can see there's that line of thunderstorms with it. Very warm air surging in ahead of it and some cool air on the back side of it. Look at our temperature map. You can see what's happening here. 68 right now in Charleston, 70 in Jacksonville, 52 in Atlanta, 36 in Little Rock, 28 right now in Tulsa. So definitely some chillier air. And whenever you have that big difference between between cool air and warm air, you get a pretty strong cold front as far as precipitation, chance for thunderstorms, and that chance is certainly there for us today. In fact, very likely we'll see rain here for the next couple of hours, maybe going down to a chance or scattered showers during the middle of the day, but then it shoots right back up to likely again this evening thanks to that front coming through. So when the cold front passes, thunderstorms are likely, marginal risk of severe weather for today. Now all day tomorrow we're in that low to chance, so that chance of rain is still there, but definitely not as widespread as today. We are going to hold on to that chance Sunday as well. Just not much clearing here for the next several days. Here's our long-term computer model. There's the front right there. This is tomorrow morning. We're still not clearing out. It's just going to hang out just south of our area, keeping us pretty mild here for the next several days, but also pretty wet. So that goes on through the weekend. Chance of rain continues. We may get some breaks Monday and Tuesday before another front sweeps through, and it's going to take a while. Late Tuesday, Thursday, all the way through Thursday, maybe even into Friday before that front clears. So we'll be watching for some unsettled weather here for quite a while. As far as rainfall, it could add up to quite a bit. In fact, we could be talking about an inch around Charleston in the next 3 days, and I think really most of that will fall in the next 24 hours. Probably not the wettest December on record, but we will be close, possibly even second place as we go in towards the next 24 hours. So today, 74 on and off rain, likely some thunderstorms, certainly a possibility, and it will be breezy at times. I'll have a look at that extended forecast and what temperatures are going to do this weekend coming up.
If you're a hashtag team Real Tree, what do you do with your Christmas tree now that the holiday's over? Anna Koyman shows us some unique ways to get rid of your tree.
You felt the Christmas spirit around your tree, and now, like unwanted relatives, it's time for it to go. So what needs to be done before you get it out of your living room? First, remove all the lights, ornaments, tinsel, and stand. Next, cover the tree in a plastic bag or sheet to prevent a mess from the needles and sap. If your Tannenbaum is more than 6 feet, it's best to cut it into small pieces for easy pickup. When you take it to the curb, make sure to not block streets or sidewalks. Don't wait for it to dry out. Not only is it a fire hazard, but the needles will drop all over your house. But it doesn't have to go in the trash.
After the holiday, you can recycle them.
You can turn your tree into other treasures, using limbs to create ornaments for next year, building a birdhouse, crafting pen holders, or even
Coasters.
And for those looking to do something a little more environmentally friendly, you can chop it to make firewood.
They smell great in the fireplace.
Turn it into a mulch to fertilize your yard. And if you live near a farm, see if they are taking tree donations. Some animals enjoy snacking on the no longer needed decor.
The pine is actually a natural dewormer for the pigs and the goats.
Well, if you live in the city of North Charleston or the town of Somerville, you can leave your tree by the curb. Dorchester County also has multiple disposal sites you can bring your tree to. Just be sure to remove all lights, wire, tinsel, ornaments, and other non-organic decorative material before getting rid of your tree. Well, your laundry detergent might be shrinking, and Amazon may be the reason. Companies like Tide and Seventh Generation are redesigning laundry detergents to make them lighter and to cut down on the use of plastic in packaging. All of this is so Amazon and other online stores can pay less to ship the detergent. That would make each sale more profitable. When Tide unveiled photos of its new packaging this fall, social media users joked it looked like box wine. Bad news for the clothing store Gap. The company said it plans to close hundreds of stores, including its iconic Fifth Avenue store in New York City. Gap sales slid 7% compared to a year ago in the latest quarter. Gap's sister brands include Banana Republic and Old Navy. Shares of the company are down about 25% this year.
This Traffic Authority report on the 8s is sponsored by Joy Law Firm.
Drive times right now along 526 aren't looking too terribly bad despite the rain. From West Ashley over to Mount Pleasant, the drive time right now is just 23 minutes. From Mount Pleasant to West Ashley, the drive time is just 21 minutes. Let's switch over to our traffic cameras and take a live look outside at a very wet 526 east and westbound. Traffic is flowing smoothly in both directions here. No major slowdowns or accidents to show you in this area. Now, coming up next, we will take a look at those drive times along Highway 17. Tessa?
Thanks, Megan. 7:18 now. Tech came out on top this holiday season. Alexa, Google Home, and Fitbit were some of the most popular gifts. According to the latest results of top free apps, Amazon's Alexa app came in first on both Android's Google Play and iOS's iPhone stores. Google Home was the third most popular on the Android Play Store and 7th on iPhone. The social media world panicked Thursday morning after Instagram changed up the way users view their feeds. Normally, users just, scroll down vertically through posts of people they follow. With the tested format, you had to swipe and tap through your feed. The unexpected change quickly trended on Twitter, with users voicing their displeasure. Instagram head Adam Mosseri called the move a small test that went broader than they expected. Instagram quickly went back to normal. Well, 2019 right around the corner, and preparations are underway for the big celebration, the unsung and unseen heroes of the New Year's Eve Times Square event. And if you like it then, you should have put a ring on it. How a woman's wedding ring ended up in a stranger's Instapot. All right, skip the jacket, but grab the umbrella. And a little trade-off this morning. It's wet outside, but at least it isn't cold. It feels kind of tropical. Another plus, it's also Friday. Ooh. Yes, meteorologist Emily Gracie is here. So how long is this soggy weather going to stick around, friend?
So it's going to stick around for a while. But today, the good news is today's really the wettest day. After today, things won't be quite as soggy. But
and it's still going to be warm.
It'll still be warm.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely finishing off the end of the year here with some mild temperatures. If you haven't stepped outside yet this morning, you'll feel it as soon as you do. You don't need a jacket. It feels like spring out there on this Friday morning. Those showers, though, still impacting many areas around and south of town. And that rain's still heavy north of town. So that line came through just a short time ago, and there is more to come as the day goes on. Right now, downtown, we're seeing a few light showers, a little bit of rain falling right along the peninsula and West Ashley area. And you're going to see this on and off here through the day, but the heavy stuff has now moved out of here, the thunderstorms as well. That doesn't mean we're done for the day, though. In fact, later this evening, this afternoon and this evening, we do have that chance continuing. The other thing we're dealing with today is the wind. Right now, we're getting a sustained wind out of the south at 21 miles per hour, so it is breezy out there in addition to being wet. You'll need the umbrella. You don't need a jacket, though. Those temperatures are going to rise into the 70s today. So we're in for a very warm day for this time of year. I'll let you know when we are going to cool down a bit and which day we are going to have the lowest chance of rain. That's coming up.
Well, new overnight, a homicide case involving the brother of a man who once served in the Bush White House. This is a case out of Taylor's, just outside of Greenville in Greenville County. WHNS reports the victim is Hall Eskew. His brother Tucker Eskew was a deputy assistant of media affairs under former President George W. Bush. The 53-year-old's body was found near a set of railroad tracks. The coroner believes he was shot sometime Christmas Day. Tucker Eskew said his family is eager for law enforcement to deliver justice. An update on the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. Officials say the effort raised more than $250,000 thanks to the Charleston community. They surpassed their goal, even with one of the rainiest Decembers in history. Officials say the money will help a neighbor keep their lights on, a family stay another month in their home, and will feed a family struggling to make ends meet. Now to Berkeley County, where Sheriff Dwayne Lewis will be sworn in for a second term. Attorney General Alan Wilson will swear him in next Wednesday at the county courthouse. Lewis took office as sheriff back in 2015. Berkeley County Coroner-elect George Oliver will also be sworn in. It's official. One of Clemson's star players remains suspended for tomorrow's Cotton Bowl against Notre Dame. Defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence didn't shy away from questions Thursday. He appeared at Media Day in Dallas. Our own Darren Stoltzfus was one of several reporters waiting to ask questions. A second so-called B test confirmed Lawrence and two other players had Osterine in their systems. Lawrence says he has no idea where the banned substance came from.
Everyone, thanks for being here. I can say I'm not the type of guy to do a selfish act like that. I have too much pride. I love this team and my family too much to even think about putting a substance like that in my body. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it got there. I was raised different. If I did do it, I own up to it. But all I can say, I honestly don't know where it come from or how I got it. It's just there, and there's nothing I can really do about it.
There's an appeals process underway. The players face a possible year suspension. One thing's for sure, Clemson's star freshman QB will suit up, but before he does, he met one-on-one with Darren, and it turns out they have something in common.
Catching up with Clemson quarterback here at Media Day before the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Trevor, I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. I kind of hit on it at ACC championship game. 3 Johnson City natives, rank them: Steve Spurrier, Trevor Lawrence, Darren Stoltzfus. And to help you out, that's me.
I was like, oh, I don't know. No, but Steve Spurrier's got to be #1, I guess. I don't know about the other two. We can be a tie, so we can be a tie. But
That's very gracious.
but yeah, no, it's got a lot of family there, and it's a quiet place for sure. So, but yeah, it's cool.
To be on this stage as a freshman, how have you changed from ACC play week 4, you become the starter week 5, to being prepared to play in a game like this?
A lot. I think just growing, maturing throughout the year is really important, and that's something that I've done for sure. And but yeah, a lot's changed for sure.
How have you, as a player, kind of changed this offense, changed how you guys attack teams when you're at quarterback?
I don't know. I think we just have so many weapons. Just being able to be a threat, vertical threat. Then also Travis just helps so much. You got to pick your poison with us. So I think that's helped a lot, and just things like that.
Last question. This is a big stage. You're in the Final Four, 1 game away from a national championship. How are you going to handle this?
I mean, I think I'll handle it fine. I think we're ready. I think I'm ready. So we still got a few more days to prepare, but we'll be ready, and we're just really excited for the opportunity.
7:34 now. 2019 just days away, and preparations are underway at Times Square in New York City. But one group of people preparing you'll never even see. They're the elite sharpshooters, ready and able to take a shot in an emergency. The snipers have been training and preparing now for months. And while they're a last resort in an emergency, no matter what, they'll be ready to go.
Of security that you're going to feel, that knowing that we're going to be watching the event. And there's another blanket of security that, you're not going to know we're there, but trust us, we're there.
Oh, we believe you. The snipers will be armed with binoculars, night vision, and high-powered rifles, and will be on the lookout for potential danger all night. Besides security, there's a lot more preparation that goes into the event. Fox's Steve Rappaport shows us how crews are making sure everything is ready for the big night.
With the holidays behind us, it's time to look ahead into the new year. On New Year's Eve, approximately 1.2 billion people around the world are watching Times Square and the glittery ball that rings in the new year for the East Coast. Preparations for the festivities got underway Thursday, crews installing 192 new triangles to the crystal face of the ball, adding to the existing 2,500 already circling the sparkly sphere.
This is stunning. It's cut on both sides. It is designed in Waterford, Ireland. It is spectacular.
The new handcrafted pieces featuring rosette cuts designed to give the appearance that they will all flow harmoniously into each other, which highlights this year's theme, the gift of harmony.
After a divisive year, we all come together on New Year's Eve as we count down those final seconds of the year in unison and in celebration with hope for the future.
Times Square revelers and those watching at home will be treated to several performances. The ball will be raised at 6 p.m. on December 31st before it drops at midnight on New Year's Eve.
This is a moment when we look back and reflect on where we've been. It's also a time when we celebrate the people that we love and the things that we value most. And then it's also a moment when we look forward with a sense of hope.
The celebration centerpiece is 12 feet in diameter and weighs roughly 12,000 pounds. Wishing you a happy new year from New York, Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
Family, friends, and political leaders are mourning the loss of the nation's oldest World War II vet this morning. Richard Overton died in Austin, Texas, Thursday afternoon at the age of 112. He was also the oldest living man in the U.S. Overton volunteered for the Army in 1942 and joined an all-black aviation engineering unit. He later served throughout the Pacific, including at Okinawa and Iwo Jima. In response to his death, Texas Governor Greg Abbott called Overton an American icon and Texas legend. The Denver District Attorney's Office has a new employee. His name is Rylan, and he's a 2-year-old Labrador Golden Retriever mix. The highly trained facility dog helps to calm those in court who need some compassion during stressful court cases.
Just being present when particularly children have to describe really traumatic incidents, things that are very hard to talk about even for adults. So we have found that having him present just changes the atmosphere.
Rylan was donated to the DA's office by a nonprofit organization that provides assistance dogs to adults, children, and veterans with disabilities for free. Former First Lady Michelle Obama was voted the woman most admired by Americans this year. That's according to a Gallup poll released this week. Obama has been on tour promoting her best-selling memoir, Becoming. The top spot was held by Hillary Clinton for 17 years. Mrs. Obama finished second to her 3 times before. Clinton actually came in 3rd place this year. Oprah Winfrey finished 2nd. Current First Lady Melania Trump took the 4th spot.
This Traffic Authority report on the 8s is sponsored by Joy Law Firm.
Taking a look at those drive times along Highway 17 right now from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant. The drive time right now is 21 minutes, 22 minutes in the opposite direction from Mount Pleasant over to West Ashley. Let's switch over to our traffic cameras, take a live look outside of US 17 north and south. Rain moving through this area causing some wet roads as folks are traveling in and out of Mount Pleasant. Now coming up next, we'll take a look at drive times for folks traveling from Summerville to downtown Charleston. Tessa?
Thanks, Megan. Well, doctors say they're seeing a new trend among college students. The disorder that sounds like something made up, but is actually plaguing 25% of current college students. And it's about the journey, not the destination. Why one man bought multiple plane tickets for a single day, I love this story, but didn't want to travel anywhere.
All right, take a look at our tides for today. It's going to be a breezy day out there, a messy day as well. We have a small craft advisory in effect. High tide will be at 12:30 this afternoon. We'll talk about if flooding is a threat today, how much rain might fall, and when it'll be out of here coming up. It is a wet morning out there right now, warm morning as well. Tessa just tried to go outside. Clearly you haven't been listening to me. She goes, it's raining. Yeah, it is raining. It's going to be raining a lot of the day today. Not only is it raining, it's warm and it's windy as well. So right now the winds are coming from the south at 21 miles per hour. We're in for a breezy day today. On and off showers, some thunderstorms. They already came through earlier this morning. We're getting a break in some areas, but that rain is going to be in the forecast here through much of the day. So showers falling across Mount Pleasant right now. Nothing quite as heavy. That heavy stuff has now moved off to the north, and some spotty showers around town and south of town. We're going to get these waves of energy coming through the day today. Not seeing any thunderstorms across the Charleston area right now. To our south, there's a few more showers. That front is going to come through later on this afternoon and this evening, but you can see there's continuing wet weather developing south of us, and it continues to move into our area. The heaviest batch came through here. I think our rain chance will go down a little bit through the middle of the day, but it's still there, and then it really ramps up again later this afternoon and this evening as that cold front comes in. There it is right there, that strong line of heavy rain, thunderstorms. And there is some flash flooding potential for a huge portion of the southeast. Take a look at this. These are flash flood watches and even some warnings already in place here this morning. We're not under any flash flood watches or warnings. Still some river flooding concerns. But for us, this front is going to weaken a little bit before it reaches us, which is good news. We're going to get a good amount of rain, but we're not going to get flooding rain, hopefully. So high tide coming through the middle of the day today certainly helps us because that's our best chance of some dry conditions. This is 11 a.m. You can see some breaks from the rain at that point through the early part of the afternoon as well. Now later this afternoon and this evening, that changes. That front is going to slide through, and with it we could get some thunderstorms that do produce some heavy rain, some gusty winds. They could become strong, and we're even under that very marginal risk of severe weather. Now tomorrow morning we are going to get that chance of rain, but it's not quite as widespread. That front's lingering just to our south, so we'll stay warm and we will stay unsettled here for several days. As far as how much rain is going to fall, we've had a lot this month. We've had over 9 inches, and we are going to get probably about another inch in the next 24 hours. Our rainfall estimator showing anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch total, and that certainly could add up to over 10 or even 11 inches for the month of December. As far as severe weather, still that chance today is marginal, which is really low, but most of the state does have that chance of some strong gusty winds here as we go through the later part of the day. 74 this afternoon, very warm out there. Shower and thunderstorm chances, especially late this afternoon, early this evening, but that chance goes down overnight tonight. We only fall into the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, warm again. Chance of rain is about 50% for the weekend. It goes down to 30 to 40% for the new year. So New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is our best chance of even seeing a few peaks of sunshine. Still very warm. And then another front comes through later next week and could bring a cool down by next weekend.
It's 7:45 now, making headlines this morning. One woman got the Christmas present of her life when another woman found it inside one of her own holiday gifts. Shelby Miller has the story.
Screams of excitement and tears of joy.
I didn't think I'd ever see it again. Oh my gosh.
Joanne Johnson couldn't contain her happiness. This video captures the moment she was reunited with her lost wedding ring. She thought it was gone forever.
It was just empty
feeling because it's like 20 years. I've had it for 20 years, and to lose it just before our anniversary.
In October, Joanne lost her ring while looking at Instant Pots at Walmart. Her and her husband scoured the aisles but couldn't find it.
We search high and low. We go to customer service. They have nothing.
Fast forward to December 25th. Shiloh Avery opened the new Instant Pot she got for Christmas. She couldn't believe what was inside.
I was like, oh, there's a ring in this. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, funny. And I was like, no, really, there's a wedding ring in this.
She knew what to do, so she went on social media.
My first reaction was, we have to find who owns it. It's not mine to keep.
Every week for 2 months, Joanne came here to this Walmart and searched the Instant Pot section, hoping to find her lost wedding ring. She says she got to the point where she just gave up hope. And then on Christmas evening, she was scrolling through Facebook. She couldn't believe it when she came across this post.
I start reading where it says, okay, I found this ring, and instantly my heart starts beating faster, going, okay, this is too much of a coincidence.
She was shocked. Within hours, the two connected. Joanne proved it was her ring and rushed to see Shiloh, picking up the best present she could have dreamed of getting on Christmas Day.
To me, she is my Christmas angel. She is just my absolute Christmas angel. It made my year.
Just being able to give somebody like that high of such good emotions, I was like, I just made all of us feel good.
For Joanne, this ring represents 20 years of happiness. It also symbolizes the start of a new friendship that formed on a Christmas they'll never forget.
Like, I see your ring on there. That one better stay on. Yeah, you tell her. Yeah.
Love a story with a happy ending there. And here we go again, some $300 million up for grabs as the Mega Millions jackpot keeps growing. The Mega Millions lottery drew numbers on Christmas for only the 4th time in its 16-year history. That jackpot was an estimated $321 million, or almost $194 million for the lump sum option. But according to lottery officials, there was no winner. So that jackpot now sits at an estimated $348 million. The next drawing is tonight at 11.
This Traffic Authority report on the 8s is sponsored by Joy Law Firm.
The drive times right now along I-26 are looking pretty moderate, just 1 minute above average from Jedburgh Road down to 526. The drive time 18 minutes and 17 minutes in the westbound lanes. From Somerville to downtown Charleston, the drive time right now 23 minutes and a 21-minute commute in the westbound lanes from downtown Charleston up to Somerville. Let's switch over to our traffic cameras and take a live look outside at 26th East and westbound at the College Park Road exit. With school being out of session, there's just not a lot of people on the roadways this morning. Traffic flowing smoothly in both directions. No slowdowns to show you in this area. Coming up next, taking a look at drive times along 526. Tessa?
All right, Megan, thank you. 7:49 now. Doctors, police officers, journalists, and flight attendants are some of the many people who often work on holidays. But one father decided he wasn't going to let his daughter's job stand in the way of spending time together this Christmas. Allie Hoaxie has a story.
Hal told me his story, and I just thought it was very special of him to fly with his daughter for Christmas.
When Mike and Hale started talking, he learned Hale is the father of one of the flight attendants. He also learned Hale wasn't really traveling anywhere, just traveling to spend time with his daughter on Christmas Day.
It's such a unique story. I've never heard of a father doing that before. And I thought it was just such a great Christmas story about an amazing father and his daughter.
He took a picture of both Hale and Hale's daughter, Pierce, and shared their story on Facebook. Now this heartwarming story is going viral with more than 30,000 shares.
My family and I try and spend time with each other no matter what, so we didn't think that this was like a big deal.
Pierce Vaughn is from Mississippi, but currently lives in Ann Arbor, so spending time with family is not always easy to come by. Being a first-year flight attendant, she expected to work Christmas. What she didn't expect is that her dad would be there along for the ride, something both her parents thought was the right thing to do.
My dad was like, well, I guess I'll just go with you, and I thought they were messing with me. I was like, that's really mean, like, don't say that, I'm gonna be alone. And they were like, no, like, surprise. We've talked about it and we think that your dad should go with you and spend the layover with you.
In all, her father took 6 flights to be with Pierce. She says the experience is something she'll never forget.
People are kind of making us appreciate that maybe not everyone has this kind of relationship with their parents and kids.
Wow, I love that story. We all love that story in the studio. All right, whoa, baby. Birthing unit at one Minnesota hospital recently saw a baby boom. Not one, not two, not even three, but there's a three involved. 31 staff members at the hospital gave birth this year. One of the mothers even had twins, raising the baby count to 32 babies. Christmas marked the last day the final medical staffer gave birth. It must be something in the water there, because there are already 15 medical staffers at that hospital expecting a baby next year. Well, have you ever woken up in the morning to see you sent a text you don't remember sending? Well, a new study found there has been a rise in sleep texting. Researchers from Villanova University surveyed more than 300 college students. They found 25% are sending midnight messages subconsciously. Most of the sleep texters don't remember sending the text the next day. Now, to avoid this, experts recommend making your bedroom a no-phone zone. Well, one man just broke a record by becoming the first person to cross the continent of Antarctica by himself without help. This is the photo American endurance athlete Colin O'Brady took at the finish line. He documented his entire journey on Instagram. It took Brady 54 days to get across the continent. Well, stay with us. Coming up in our next hour, what we're learning about an overnight shooting in North Charleston, and new numbers from the CDC show flu activity is picking up. The state seeing the worst of it and its level of activity here in the Palmetto State. Here's a look at the top local stories we're following this morning. The numbers are in. Officials with the Salvation Army say the Red Kettle campaign raised more than $250,000 thanks to the Charleston community. They surpassed their goal even with one of the rainiest Decembers in history. Officials say the money will help a neighbor keep their lights on, a family stay another month in their home, and will feed a family struggling to make ends meet. Starting today, officials say they'll be cracking down on impaired driving. The Dorchester County Sheriff's Office says it'll be conducting several public checkpoints, which will be enforced today through Monday, New Year's Eve. Mount Pleasant Police will also be out in force at multiple checkpoints today through New Year's Eve. Well, learning more about a shooting in North Charleston. It happened overnight. Police said it happened on McMillan Avenue, right between Rivers and Sproul. Police tell us one man was shot. They were called out to the Max Quick Stop just before 11 last night. That's where they found the victim, who was rushed to the hospital where police say he was in serious condition.
Live look right now at 526 East and westbound right around Leeds Avenue. Traffic is flowing smoothly in both directions. No major slowdowns or accidents to show you this morning. Drive times right now all across the low country on 526, I-26 and Highway 17 are all pretty moderate. The rain is moving through the area, causing a bit of a few slowdowns, but no major accidents to tell you about. It's kind of a gloomy start to our morning. Let's send things over to meteorologist Emily Gracie.
Yeah, foggy as well. Take a look. Our live camera over downtown showing foggy conditions right now. Even though the rain is not widespread across the downtown area, there are going to be some visibility issues. Temperatures are very mild. You get that cool water and warm temperatures, that fog forms. It is 68 degrees right now from the airport. A few showers out there right now. The heaviest of the rain moved through already, but we do have more to come. In fact, rain falling across some of those beaches right now and more forming to our south. That cold front still well back to our west. That'll move through later on this afternoon and this evening, and with it we could get some thunderstorms, some heavy rain. Warm temperatures, 74 for the high today. It will be breezy, in fact windy at times. Tonight we'll drop down into the low to mid 60s. Once again, foggy, some showers possible and mild temperatures. Tomorrow back into those 70s. Over the weekend we have a chance of rain. It won't be quite as heavy or widespread. We get a few breaks, but still warm going into the end of the year and staying unsettled next week.